Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Deep below Wayne Manor on the outskirts of Gotham is the Political Vigilante studio in an undisclosed location, hiding from the enemies of truth. So, Trump still won't concede that he lost. And Biden is talking about healing the nation. Okay, I'm all in favor of that. I'm all in favor of healing the nation. He says this, right? Biden hopes to avoid divisive Trump investigations, preferring unity. At first glance, you go, oh, that's probably not, some people like, get Trump. I'd love to see Trump go to jail. But if we're going to put Trump in jail, then we got to put Biden in jail. We got to put Obama in jail. We got to put Pence and Dick Cheney and Bush and Clinton. And wait. The end of the day, presidents will protect each other because they're all crooked as the day is long, because we've only ever had presidents from these two filthy parties. I'm sure back in the day, some wig won something, like whatever. But I want to go through this and show you what this really means. What this really means is business as usual, man. That's what this means. Hey, Trump, I will pardon you. Just hand over the keys. I will pardon you. I will make sure the DOJ drops these charges. Because you could arrest Trump for a bunch of shit. They could have impeached him over the emollients clause, but they didn't. Anyway, but what this really story is, and again, this was in MSNBC's website. So what this really is, hey, the war machine, everybody that's really the surveillance state, the intelligence community, all the big corporations, the central banks, the pharmaceutical companies, business as usual. Trump just play ball, business as usual, right? Because the war machine does not want to end. We have been at war in Afghanistan for 19 years. It is America's longest running war. Imagine if we were still fighting the Japanese and the Germans and the Italians in 1960. Doesn't that sound insane? We were bombed in December of 1941. That's when America entered the war. The war had already been going on in Europe for several years. That's when we got involved. The war ended in the summer of 45. 3.5 years out. Marshall Plan, rebuilding, done. Imagine we're still there in 1960. That's what this is really about. The never-ending war machine, the never-ending Wall Street debt is one of the biggest things from war. So I want you, that's what I'm going to read through when we read this article. That's what I want you to be thinking of, okay? Because that's the bullshit they're feeding us. Biden has raised concerns that investigations would further divide a country he is trying to unite and risk making every day of his presidency about Trump. Okay, that sounds reasonable. And maybe the Trumpers are going to riot in the streets if you try to arrest him. Okay, I don't know why you're letting those people dictate what you do. And doesn't this sound? I mean, part of me is like, we got COVID, we got the environment, the economy is going to collapse. We should deal with those things rather than deal with Trump, which a Trump trial would dominate the news. Be a great distraction for the ruling class. But if we're fighting about Trump and people are as people are in the streets fighting, then that kind of distracts us from, bombing more countries and boots on the ground in Iran or Venezuela, which is what the Biden people want. And Trump's no hero. Trump's a jackass. I'm glad he's gone, but Biden's a bag of shit. They're all bags of shit. Wake up. If you think either one of these parties has got your back, you're lying to yourself. They don't care about you at all. Unite, and said the sources who spoke on background to offer details of private conversations. Emphasizing an arm's length approach to the Justice Department could give Biden cover from criticism from his supporters about any lack of investigations into Trump, his policies, or his staff. Again, Trump, I said this from day one, is just the most vulgar version of what presidents have been doing for decades. They've all dropped bombs. They've all bailed out Wall Street. They've all not given a shit about regular Americans. The two parties don't care about what's best for America. They care about what's best for their donor class. That's all the two parties care about. One of the reasons he has given aides that he believes investigations would alienate the more than 73 million Americans who voted for Trump, the people said familiar with discussions. Oh, I get that. Okay, 73 million people did vote for Trump, so you don't want those people alienated. Okay. All right. We got to heal as a nation. Trump was a very divisive character. All right, that sounds good on paper, doesn't it? Right? The dilemma facing Biden is similar to the one Obama faced when he took office in 2009. Here we go. Here's the real story. This is what I'm talking about. Democrats were demanding the prosecution of Bush administration officials who were involved in politics that allowed enhanced interrogations or torture of terrorism suspects. So Obama had a choice. Do I prosecute Bush and Cheney, who are warmongers, who are war criminals? Do I do that? Or do I join them? Obama chose to join him. Obama's covert drone war in numbers, 10 times more strikes than Bush. He dropped more bombs than Bush. He had CIA black sites. He had people tortured and used enhanced interrogation. He did all that shit that Bush, all the evil shit Bush did, he did it. That's the real story. That's what this headline should say. Biden telling Trump, I'll pardon you so we can keep the war machine going. That's what that title should have said, because that's what this is really about. Right? He expanded the surveillance state. He passed the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, in December of 2011. That gave federal police officers the ability to just round up Americans, which he did at Occupy Wall Street. He did it in Ferguson for Black Lives Matter protests. He did it in Standing Rock. He did it in Baltimore for Freddie Gray. He did all that shit. So Biden is going to keep doing that. He was his vice president. He dropped more bombs than Bush. Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction that cost 1 million Iraqis, thousands of American lives. We still have 22 vets a day committing suicide because of those wars. These wars still going. Trump's keeping them going. Trump and his camp, I'm going to put Hillary Clinton in jail and this and that. Well, of course not. You can't do that, because then they all are going to protect each other because they're all criminal. It's like mafia dons. I mean, they all. U.S. drops more bomb in Obama's final year in office than 2015. 26,171 bombs were dropped in 2016. What does Trump do? He ran an anti-interventionist campaign. Remember that? Did you vote for him in 2016 because you thought he was going to get us out of these wars? That's a reasonable thing. I voted for Obama. He said he was going to do that. Instead, he took us from 2 wars to 7. He just dropped more bombs than Bush. I just showed you that. What did Trump do? Same thing. He dropped more bombs. See it? You see a pattern? Are you seeing a pattern? Trump may have bombed Yemen more than all previous U.S. presidents combined, new report finds. The war in Yemen that was started under the Obama administration, that is continued by Trump, that has caused the worst humanitarian crisis in the history of the world. 85,000 dead children in Yemen. That number is a year or so old, so it's probably over 100,000. It's horrific what we're doing. So Biden is basically saying, if I'm tangled up in some lawsuit trying to lock up Trump and that's all that dominates the news cycle, then maybe I won't be able to do all the bombing that I really want to do. That's what I really want to do, is I want to do all this bombing. I know this is detailed. You can't see it that much, but these are the top global in defense spending. Revenue and revenue that they bring in, that is number of defense. Lockheed Martin, number 1. They bring in $44.9 billion in revenue. 88% of it is from defense. Boeing, 26.9 million. Only 29% is from defense. Raytheon. Oh, the Brits. Hey, congrats. Welcome to the top 5. Way to go, warmongers. Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Airbus. That's a French company, but they're part of the EU. Thales Group, Leonardo. I think this is, what is that, Ireland? Russia's not even in the top 10. And yet we're so scared of them, right? Russia's going to come get us. How? American ally, American ally, American ally, American ally. Russia, Russia. Rolls-Royce. So now I'm going to show you a graph of military spending. This is Trump. So Trump is red, Biden is blue. President Donald Trump is slightly edging out Democratic nominee Joe Biden with political donations from members of the military. Department of Defense, Biden actually got more. That number right there, Biden got more than Trump. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, right? Navy. But these are like members of the military. But the DOD, they're the ones making the calls. And most of the DOD people either were in the defense contractor business or are going to be. Brings us back to these numbers, right? There's very little difference, by the way. That's what this is about. That's what this is about, folks. Biden telling the Trump administration through the media, hey, man, we'll go back to business as usual. Just hand it over. I won't arrest you. We can all keep bombing. Right? We can all keep bombing. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Thanks for watching the show, folks. All I'm doing is bringing you the truth. Support what we do. Like, share, subscribe. There's a message coming up right after this about all the ways you can help us out. The boom. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.